Alrighty, Super Benny here, and we are talking about a little bit of thoughts of some random sort of games. There's so much to cover. I don't want to space it out into loads of videos, but I want to just talk about a few different sort of games that are coming out. Yeah, we've got Ghost of Yotei. I'm really excited for that. I think more of the same from Ghost of Tsushima, using the engine, using the backgrounds and the scenery. I think it's going to be very, very good, even if it is a female protagonist. I think sort of like almost like a Seven Samurai idea of going after different sort of baddies. Yeah, very, very cool. Lovely scenery. It's going to be a very, very cool game. And I think it'll probably be one of the top three games of 2025. I think it's going to be very sort of under the radar, really hit a lot of people's sort of wish list and tick a lot of boxes for a lot of people. For me, I'm super hyped about it. I'll be buying that one and playing it. A lot of people might not fancy it, but it's right up my street. Romeo Must Die was announced as well. Sort of the games from like Travis and that kind of stuff. Very, very cool artwork, and it's just good to see different genres of games. Very, very sort of bizarre Japanese concepts. So that was a little bit of interesting and something different. Metal Gear Solid Snake is coming out. I don't know about you, but for me, I find some of Hideo Kojima's games a bit corny, a bit cheesy at times, and some of the gameplay isn't always as fun there for me. So initially I was quite hyped about it, and then I was like, oh yeah, it's a Metal Gear game, and then seen some of the corniness and weirdness. Yeah, I'm not sure for me. I'm not sure on that one. Witcher 4 looks very, very good with the graphics. Looks superb on this new modern console. Looks very interesting. If you're a big Witcher fan, I think it's going to be, again, a lot of great times and world to explore. So I think that's going to be a lot on a lot of people's wish list. But again, more sort of dragon and fantasy games. Not always ticks my box, but I did play a little bit of Witcher 3 in the past. We've got Pragmata coming out, a new sort of Capcom IP. The only thing I would say initially is, yeah, I played Exo Primal, which was kind of a new IP and kind of sci-fi and futuristic. Didn't tick everyone's boxes. For me, it was kind of cool initially, and then it got very boring very quick. So hopefully with this idea, they've had a lot of time to, reprocess this idea and go through the fine sort of details. Yeah, I'm kind of on the fence about it. It looks good, but I want to see more gameplay and see if the story's good and that kind of stuff. I'm on the fence about that one. I hope it does well. Let's talk about Doom. Doom, the new game come out, I think it's the Dark Ages. The thing I would say about Doom is it's very, very hyped when it comes out, and then 6 months or 3 months later, it's totally forgotten about. Nobody's talking about Doom. They're kind of bargain basement games after they've done and dusted. You can find the other sort of Doom games for £5, super, super cheap, and they just get thrown away very, very easily. So yeah, it's a bit concerning. Some of the gameplay looked alright. Again, might be a bit of a headache after bosses and doing the same thing, repetitiveness for myself. But a lot of Doom fans out there, as I say, doesn't really hold its value. So something, if you are interested in it and you haven't played it yet, you could probably find it very, very cheap in the not too distant future. Yeah, we talked about some other games. We talked about Lumines. We talked about First Light on the channel. Silent Hill F looks very good. Horror game as well. Again, I think some of the baddies could be a bit of a headache after a while, very too much. I'm hoping the story and the atmosphere is, as initially promised, will be there. But very interesting. I think I'm going to play that and pick that up. Interesting concept. Mind's Eye. I've never seen Mind's Eye come up so fast on some of the reselling apps and reselling sites. I did say on this channel in this video here, no, not a whole lot of people listen to it, but I was one of the first people to say it looks a bit cheesy, looks a bit corny. there is an element of a game in there. There is some fantastic assets in there, and I think for a lot of younger fans, I think just a little bit of silliness and cheesiness, a bit like some of the games back in the day. But it doesn't really hit sort of modern day standards, and I think too many devs and producers took away sort of the artistic freedoms and sort of expressions in that game, so you can kind of tell it's a bit rigid and not executed very, very well. But other than that, there were some elements in there. It was okay, but it just, you have to kind of pick a corner and pick what kind of element of fun you want to go for, and it kind of, too many cooks spoil the broth on that one. But as I said, with my initial thoughts on that previously, I don't want to rub it in and say I told you so, but hey, you can probably pick that game up very, very cheap in the future, have a little go, whatever. And that, not all games have to be like super blockbuster prices, do they? But it's not for me, that one. And I think that's about it, really. A lot of people was playing Battlefield 2 as well. Battlefield 2, Battlefront 2. A lot of streamers like Dr. Disrespect and XQC and whatever. And what I would say, I've stopped playing Apex and I've stopped playing, FIFA and a lot of these loot box games, grind games, whatever. They don't offer very, very much. Just seemed very interesting after the end of a lot of the EA games dying off for that year. And a lot of the season passes all disappear, and there was doing, Fortnite was very popular with Star Wars and that kind of stuff. It's just very interesting, some of these streamers coming up suddenly replaying an old franchise, especially had it had its problems with grinding and loot box in the past, and then to try and convince other people back into that game. I thought it was very interesting, very, very telling, and just be sort of careful how you consume your media and what you're kind of exposed to, really, and make your own choices and make your own sort of ideas of what you're interested in, what you like. Don't just be mindlessly following people. Really, really delve into what you like and what things pique your interest, rather than just following what the latest trend is. Because it wasn't a very particular good game. It still isn't a good game. Yeah, you can go back and replay a lot of games. There still is a lot of big elements in a lot of games, but hey ho, just be careful there. But yeah, lots of exciting games coming out. I also think some of the games that have already come out, like Expedition 33 is probably going to win the game of the year. Death Stranding 2's coming out just this week. Looks okay, looks interesting. Again, I'm not interested in walking around too much. I played the first one. The gameplay doesn't pique my interest in that. So some very interesting titles coming up for the future, and it's really kind of picking up for 2026 and 2027 to see where some of the games are heading. GTA is going to be coming out as well. So there's a lot of good stuff on this modern day console, and Horizon really coming out, and it's exciting times. There's some good games. It's really kind of revving up. But as I say always, be patient, take your time, and we'll see what kind of games will come out for this system, and you can pick up loads over the time anyway. But exciting games that are coming out for this system. So stay tuned to the channel. I always give you my honest thoughts and opinions on some of the games that are coming out, stuff I like, stuff I don't like, and we'll go from there, and we'll see what's eventually how the dust settles and what's good. So take care, Super Ben.